Hello everybody, my name is Hello. Welcome back to the series where we're dealing with Codeforces problems in Python. In today's episode, we're going to be solving problem 1899A, which is called game with integers. Again, a bit of a tricky problem, but really simple when you're dealing with the math of this problem. Let's go ahead and see how we can solve this. As always, let's go ahead and read through this problem. First, this problem is called game with integers. So Vanya and Vova are playing a game. Players are given an integer n. Okay, on their turn the player can add 1 to the current integer or subtract 1. The players take turn. So when player A is playing and player B is playing, player can either add or subtract a number to the integer. Player B can similarly add or subtract the number. So this is Vanya and this is Vova. Okay, now something that you really need to keep in mind is the line that comes after this. So they're saying Vanya starts, so always Vanya goes first. Okay, if after Vanya's move, the integer is divisible by 3. That means if there's an integer n, if Vanya is starting, during Vanya's move, if it is divisible by 3, doesn't matter. But after she either adds or subtracts by 1, if the integer is divisible by 3, Vanya will win. Okay, if 10 moves have passed and Vanya has not won, then Vova wins. Okay, now write a program. If you give a number integer, determine who wins, either Vanya or Vova. If Vanya wins, print first. If Vova wins, print second. Now, in general, there are some things that these problems have that throw you off. Okay. In this case, I want you guys to take a guess about what that would be. Yeah, if you're done, it's this 10 moves right here. So what this 10 moves actually says is, it basically is hinting you to code this game from scratch by yourself and then determine after 10 moves passed every time. No, that's not how you do it. Let's just go ahead and see what this looks like. Okay, so we are given an integer n, and the goal of this game is to determine if the integer is divisible by 3. Now, if any number is divided by 3, what will be the remainders? You'll either get 0, 1, 2, and that's what we use the modulo division operation for, correct? And this is what this looks like. Now, Vanya will always start. So there's a number n, correct? Or n plus 1 or n plus 2. Let's say n is divisible by 3, okay? Let's say take case 1. Vanya is getting the number n, okay? Now, let's say Vanya adds 1. So by default, he does not win. He has to either add or subtract 1, then only. So regardless of what he does in this case, either this becomes n plus 1 or n minus 1. Okay. Now, from the other person, Vova. Okay, this is Vanya's turn. Okay. Vanya is either doing n plus 1 and or n minus 1. We'll take two cases here also. So what Vova will do? In this case, what will be the optimal way to play the game? Well, if I do plus 1 and make this n plus 2, then in Vanya's turn, he'll do plus 1 and make this n plus 3, which will be divisible by 3. So doing plus 1, definitely something that I should not do. So I will do minus 1. I'll keep this back, n plus 1 minus 1, which will give me n again. Okay. Now, if Vanya chooses n minus 1, if Vova chooses again minus 1, this will become n minus 1 minus 1, n minus 2. Now again in Vanya's turn, what he'll do another minus 1. It'll become n minus 3, will again be divisible by 3 because n is divisible by 3, correct? So this is definitely a no-go, no minus 1. What we'll do plus 1. So n minus 1 plus 1, which will bring me back to n. So something that you can see here is, it is in Vova's best interest to keep the number at n always. And why I say always, let's take these other two cases. If it's n plus 1 and it's Vanya's turn, Vanya will just do minus 1, bring this back to n, and Vanya will win. If it's n plus 2, then Vanya will do plus 1, make this n plus 3 and make it divisible, Vanya will win. So in both of these cases, if the number either is of this format or of this format, Vanya wins by default. But if the number is of this format, then regardless of what Vanya does, Vova can always bring this back to n, and by doing so, she will always win the game. And this, whether this is 10 moves, whether this is 5 moves, whether this is 10,000 moves, whether this is 10 million moves, as long as Vova can bring this to n, and she can do that because by bringing this, she again goes to the first step, and regardless of what Vanya does, Vova can again bring this to n. So regardless of that, it will always be n if you're playing this optimally, and Vova will always win. So in conclusion, what this question is saying is, you're given an integer n, check what n percentage 3 is. If that is 0, then Vanya has lost. I'm sorry, print second. If it's either 1 or 2, in that case Vanya has won, print first. Let us go ahead and see what this looks like in code. So what the input looks like, that's something that we should have discussed maybe before. They're saying you get t in the first line, which is the number of test cases, and then you get the integer n. Okay, very straightforward. So I'm going to take t, which will be the number of test cases. I'll take it input and I'll do for in range of t. Okay. So we are putting this underscore because it doesn't really matter. We're just going to loop this anyway. So we're not going to use this variable right here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and take n as an input. I'm going to check if n percentage 3. Okay. Maybe check n percentage 3. Okay. So I'm saying if n percentage 3, which is the modulo operation, equal to 0, as we discussed here, in this case alone, Vova will win, correct? This is the first case, right? Base case. So that will be, Vova is the second person, right? So I'll go ahead and do second, okay? Else, in any other case, Vanya will win, so that will be the first person. You can see the test cases have passed, but let's go ahead and submit this code also to see if this actually does work. Game with integers, I'm going to click the submit button. And you can see that the code has been accepted. And yeah, that is the question, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do hope that this helped you. If it did, hit that like button. I'll see you in another video. Until then, bye.